Hello, this is Will White, Solar Application Specialist at Fluke. And in this video series, we are going to look through the user interface of the SMFT-1000. That's the Solar Multifunction tool. We're going to start with this video on the buttons and the dial on the front. First thing we need to know, the power button. The power button is the green button on the left-hand side. You push it once to turn the device on. You hold it in to turn the device off. Next to the power button is the brightness button. This changes the intensity of the brightness of the screen. It defaults to medium. You push it once and it will go to high. Push it again, it will go to low, and then medium is in the middle. The up and down arrows and the 4 function buttons, F1 through 4, are used to navigate through the screens of the device. We have our test button. Once we set up our instrument and are ready to go, hit the test button and it will run whichever test the dial is set to. Once we've completed the test, we can hit the save button. This will save the test into the device, which we can later download with the TrueTest software. The triangle with the exclamation point indicates voltage is present at the test leads. Anytime you have voltage over 30 volts, that little red triangle will light up. We also have the info button. Info button is extremely useful. Anytime you're set to any of the tests on the dial, if you hit the info button, a screen will come up that will show a graphic illustration of how to set the leads for the device up. Really useful, especially if you're new to the tool or to testing. On the right-hand side, we have the dial. We're going to use this to select the different tests. We start off with the menu. In the menu, we can access stored tests in the memory. We can change the client and site number. We can go into the device settings and we can go to the help screens, which are a list of all the info graphic screens. Next, we have a visual inspection. This follows IEC 62446-1. They have some specific requirements for visually inspecting a system before we start testing. So we can use that list to go through and do pass-fails for those tests to ensure that we don't miss any of the steps. R-low measures the resistance between 2 points. We use this to ensure that non-current carrying metal parts of the array are all bonded together. We next have voltage and polarity. We'll use that to ensure that the polarity of our PV string is correct. We can test open circuit voltage and short circuit current. We have the power and function test. In the power test, we'll use the voltage probes and the current clamp on the DC side to measure and calculate power. Then we can move the probes to the AC side of an inverter and calculate power on that side. And then the SMFT-1000 will tell us the inverter efficiency. Inside that test is also a function checklist. We use that for our inspection of all our equipment. We also have insulation resistance test. We can run that in a couple different ways. We have our IV curve test. We can do up to 1,000 volts and 20 amps per string of modules. We have bypass blocking diode testing and surge protection device testing. And then we have an auto function. The auto function is really handy because it will run multiple tests all at once. Once you hit the test button, it will run through the tests. If it passes the test, it will continue to the next test. If it fails the test or is outside the parameters that you set, it will ask you if you want to retake the test or skip on to the next test. Those are the basic buttons and dial features on the front of the SMFT-1000. In future videos, we will go through each individual test and all the menus that are associated with that test. Thanks.